What's up everybody, I'm Matt Portwood and welcome to my channel. Today we're gonna go over everything you need to know to start losing weight fast. And we're gonna do that by going through the 14 most common questions that I get asked, the things that people get hung up on the most, and that usually keep them from even getting started in the first place because they're just too confused by all the information out there. Real quick 30-second introduction of myself and why you should listen to anything that I have to say at all. My name is Matt Portwood. I am the owner of a gym and transformation center in Danville, Indiana called the Chronic Health Club. And we help clients achieve their weight loss journeys. We take them from day one, where they come in not knowing anything, not knowing how to get started, and we take them all the way through their journey to the point where they've reached their goal weight, and we teach them how to keep that weight off forever, and we make sure that they do that. Now, throughout this video, I'm gonna be popping up a lot of information on the screen. I'll even be showing you guys a lot of actual weight loss graphs from our clients, so you'll see that stuff popping up on the screen, so you'll see that we actually know what we're talking about. All right. That's enough about that. Let's get into the questions. So we're gonna go rapid fire through all of these questions, covering all of the most important topics that you need to know so that you can start losing weight very quickly. We're just gonna distill all this information down so you know exactly what you need to know and nothing that you don't need to know. Question number one, what should you eat to lose weight? The reality is there's no one answer to this question. I'm going to tell you guys what works best for our clients and what we have had the best results in the shortest amount of time with, and that is focusing on whole, minimally processed foods. Now you might be asking, what is a whole minimally processed food? So let's take three examples. A chicken breast, just a plain grilled chicken breast would be a great example of a whole minimally processed food. It's practically the way you get it from nature. We're not adding anything to it. It's lean, it's good, or it's very filling because it is not processed. A chicken sausage would be an example of a minimally processed version of chicken. It's ground up, there's some stuff added to it. Usually it's higher in fat because of that. So it's not quite as healthy as the chicken breast. Then you take a TV dinner. Here we have all kinds of ingredients added. You have a lot more carbohydrate, a lot more fat in that chicken dinner or in that TV dinner. It's not as healthy or as filling as the chicken sausage or the best option, which is the chicken breast. So chicken breast, chicken sausage, TV dinner. Whole, minimally processed, very processed. All right, stick to your whole, minimally processed foods, and that's gonna get you the best result when it comes to getting started with your food. Next, we have question number two. How much should you eat to lose weight? The guideline that we start our clients off with is 3 meals and 2 snacks. Now, some might say, well, what if I want to intermittent fast? Or what if I want to skip breakfast? Or what if I don't want to have any snacks and I just want to eat breakfast and lunch and dinner? The answer is that's okay. 3 meals and 2 snacks is just a starting point that we start with our clients, and we modify from there. It is okay if you skip breakfast. It is okay if you skip your snacks and you just have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The key is for our clients, we typically tell them don't go over 3 meals and 2 snacks, but it's okay if you start with less than that. Because if I have a client who starts off, comes to me and their goal is to lose weight and they're not eating breakfast already, by adding breakfast back into the equation, I might be adding calories back into the equation, which would actually make it harder for them to lose weight if we're adding more and more calories in instead of trying to get them into a calorie deficit. So 3 meals and 2 snacks is a good baseline to start with. Also, when we're talking about how much you should eat, we talk about portions. So on one hand, you can get out the food scale, you can measure everything you eat, you can track it in an app like MyFitnessPal, which we'll talk about a little bit later on this video, but we never do that with our clients starting off. What we recommend is just to use simple hand portions. When it comes to your proteins, your meats, things like that, use the size and the thickness of your palm on the plate. Very simple. When it comes to your carbohydrates, you're looking for roughly the size and thickness of your fist on the plate. So this would be like a pile of rice, pile of potatoes, pile of beans, pile of oatmeal. And then for your fats, you want to use the exact measurement that is on the food container or whatever food that you're eating. You want to find an exact measurement for that. So let's say you're eating peanut butter, which is a minimally processed version of peanuts. There's a 2 tablespoon recommendation on that jar of peanut butter for 1 serving. Because fats are so calorie dense, you want to really make sure that you actually measure out your fats. So if you're eating nuts, you want to stick to the serving size of roughly 1 ounce or a 1/4 cup of nuts. So size and thickness of your palm for your proteins, size of your fist for carbohydrates. Be very precise and use the recommended serving amount on your nuts and your nut butters for your fats, things like that. And then for your non-starchy veggies, things like your greens, your salads, your raw veggies, stuff like that, you don't really have to measure those as much. They're very low in calorie, they're high in fiber, they're high in water, they're high in nutrients. It's okay to have more of those. You mainly want to pay attention to portions for your protein and your carbs and your fats primarily. Next, so how do you build your meals? For your meals, you want to have one portion of protein, size and thickness of your palm, one portion of carb or fat, but ideally not both, and then you want to have a portion of veggies with each of your meals. All right, so one portion protein, pick a carb or a fat, but not both, and then add your veggies in. Now, what about your snacks? For your snacks, you want to stick to something that is protein-based or vegetable-based, non-starchy vegetable-based, ideally, because what your body burns for fuel and what it stores for fuel are carbohydrates and fats, right? So we want to keep our body focused on burning fat for fuel. So ideally, when it comes to our snacks between meals, we want to be eating things like protein and non-starchy vegetables because those are things that our body does not like to store as fat because it doesn't use them for fuel, okay? Next question, when should you eat? There's a million answers to this question. Do you want to intermittent fast and skip breakfast and skip your first snack and just start at lunch and eat from, say, lunch through dinner? Do you want to start eating as soon as you wake up in the morning? There's a million answers to this question. The truth is, and you'll hear a lot of debate about this on the internet, it really doesn't matter. The impact that you will get from eating one way versus the other way when it comes to your meal timing is minimal. There might be some benefits one way or the other, but it's not something that you want to obsess over in the beginning. So if you already have experience with something like skipping breakfast and intermittent fasting, it's okay to do that. If you don't and you really like eating 3 meals and starting with food or some kind of calories as soon as you wake up in the morning, that's completely fine. Don't obsess over this one thing. Just eat 3 meals and 2 snacks or 2 meals and 1 snack, somewhere within that framework. Whatever works best for you and your schedule is going to be the best starting out. Don't obsess over it. All right, the next question, what should you drink to lose weight? Okay, now I'm ready. This is a very simple one. You just don't want to drink your calories, okay? Except for the potential addition of a protein shake, all right? A protein shake can be a great convenient snack. It could be a great convenient meal replacement if you're in a hurry and you don't have time to have a meal or a proper snack. But outside of that, you really don't want to drink your calories. You want to stick to calorie-free beverages. Lots of water, right? You want to try to get somewhere between 100 and 120 ounces of water a day is a really good benchmark for most people as a good baseline. A minimum for most people, I would say, is about half your body weight in ounces of water. So if I weigh 160 pounds, then I minimally want to get 80 ounces a day, but I'm shooting for closer to that 120 to 150 mark for myself. The next question I get from people is, should I just drink plain water or can I put flavorings in it? Or what about diet pop and things like that? Again, you don't want to obsess over this. The main thing you want to do if your main goal is to lose weight is worry about the calories first. So if it's calorie free in general, it's way better than anything else. So you want to ditch the Starbucks lattes and all that stuff and the regular pop and all that stuff. Get a lot of water in. If you want to put flavorings in your water, I do that. I don't like drinking plain water. I put flavorings in mine all the time. If you want to drink diet pop and things like that, that's okay. Calorie-free beverages, ditch the calories, don't drink your calories. All right, next question. Should you do cardio? The answer is yes, but not specifically for weight loss. When you do cardio, you want to do it for the general health benefits. You want to do it because maybe you want to have more endurance, you want to have a stronger heart, maybe it makes you feel good, it has mental and emotional benefits. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to tie doing lots of cardio directly to your weight loss results, because that can build an unhealthy relationship with cardio, something that I've seen time after time as a coach, okay? So cardio is good for burning calories, but you will never outwork a bad diet with cardio. So you don't want to get into that association with, oh, I'm going to go burn a lot of calories because I ate this or I ate that, okay? So you want to do cardio specifically because of the health benefits and the way it makes you feel, not because it is going to help you lose weight. So it should be a part of your plan, but it shouldn't be a huge part of your plan just for the weight loss benefits, okay? Next question usually is, what kind of cardio should I do? Should I do high intensity interval training? Should I go running? Should I just do steady state cardio on the treadmill, doing some walking? Should I do the elliptical? Should I do the bike? Should I do boxing classes? The truth is, it doesn't matter. There are maybe some minimal benefits or differences in the benefits from one type of cardio to the next, but those truly are going to be minimal, and they're not going to have a huge impact on your results compared to something like your diet. So when you're choosing the type of cardio that you want to do, you want to choose a type of cardio that you like, because the fact that you like it is going to make you want to do it more. That is the most important factor when it comes to choosing what type of cardio that you want to do, okay? So don't obsess over what type of cardio. If you like doing high intensity interval training, do high intensity interval training. If you like doing Zumba classes, do Zumba classes. If you like kickboxing, do kickboxing. If you like just going for long walks, go on long walks. Don't obsess over this. Just do what you like to do. All right, next question. How often should you exercise or work out? The general guideline that we give to our clients is 3 days a week of a dedicated workout that is not cardio, okay? 3 days a week. Now, could you do 4 or 5 or 6? Yes, you could. Would it potentially increase your results? Yes, maybe. You're going to be burning extra calories if you're working out more. But is 4, 5, or 6 days a week reasonable or sustainable for you given your unique life circumstances? That is the question that you have to ask. 3, we have found, is a number that is reasonable, that most people can achieve, and it's sustainable, right? And you can get great results with 3 days a week of working out. The next question we get is, what kind of exercise or workouts are best for weight loss? The answer that we give our clients and that we have the most success with is resistance training. Now, resistance training is going to stimulate your muscle and your bones in a way that will allow you to maintain or actually build strength and maybe build some muscle, which is ultimately the driver of your metabolism, right? Your muscle mass is the active, metabolically active tissue on your body. The more you have, the higher your metabolism is going to be. And when you're losing weight and you're not doing resistance training, it's likely that you're losing more muscle mass than you really want to. And when you lose your muscle mass, you lose your metabolic rate. Your metabolism goes down, which is not what we want to happen. So 3 days a week, resistance training is our recommendation for our clients. Now, does that need to be with free weight or machines or bands or body weight? The truth is, it really doesn't matter. Again, there are going to be some differences in the benefits. Some might be marginally better than others, but when you're just starting out, what's most important is that you are just stimulating your bone and your muscle with resistance training in some way that feels good, that is achievable for you, that is not overwhelming, and that you can sustain. Those are the most important things. So you don't want to obsess over having just the right program. Now let's go back to diet for just a second, because the next question I get is, should I track my calories? And when I say track my calories, we're talking about actually getting out the food scale, the measuring cups, being very, very precise about tracking everything that you're eating and maybe logging it into an app on your phone like MyFitnessPal. Now, first of all, I do think that this is a skill that every human being should learn, because it opens up, it gives you a lot of knowledge about the food that you're eating, and it really can help you develop a new sense, like a sixth sense for when you're building your plates. You can almost at some point in time get to a point where you know exactly what you're getting. But in the beginning, we never start with that for our clients because it's simply too overwhelming for them. So if you're just starting out on your weight loss journey, I don't recommend that you break out the food scale and the measuring cups and you start weighing and measuring your food. It's probably going to be overwhelming, and there's too much of a likelihood that you're going to do it wrong. If you don't measure that food and get it precisely right, it's likely that you're going to underestimate the calories that you're logging. And if you're logging 1,500 calories, you might be eating 2,500 and you're not going to be losing weight. So I don't recommend doing it in the beginning, but I do recommend learning that skill further down the road. And we have a very specific way that we teach our clients to do it so that we make sure they're doing it right. So don't recommend that right off the bat. Don't worry about that. Use your hand portions just like we talked about earlier in the video. The next question we get is, how should I track my progress? How do I know if I am making progress? Should I weigh myself? Should I do measurements? Should I do before and after pictures? Should I get my body fat tested? The answer is maybe all of these, but all of these are very result-based and they're not going to be the best indicators by themselves. So tracking weight alone, not the best indicator. It is one indicator that works, but it's not the best indicator. Doing your measurements alone, great, but not the best indicator alone. I recommend doing as many as you can. Track your weight, track your measurements, track your before and after pictures, and it's also a really good idea to journal. Journal how you feel on a daily basis physically so that you can actually keep track of if you are noticing real physical differences in your energy levels, in your sleep, in whether you have digestive issues, things like that. You should track your measurements about every 6 weeks as well as your before and after pictures. So about every 6 weeks for your measurements and your before and after pictures. I recommend that you track your weight every day. So, which is usually the next question I get. How often should I weigh myself? myself. I do things a little bit differently with our clients because we approach weighing yourself from a wholly different perspective. We realize that clients and people in general have generally a negative relationship with the scale, meaning when they jump on the scale, they see that number, and if it's a good day and the weight goes down, they're happy and they're motivated. But if that weight goes up, it tends to drive negative emotions and negative behaviors, and that gets them into trouble. Now, we approach weighing from a totally different perspective with our clients. We actually have them weigh every single day, and I'll pop up some graphs up here on the screen so you can see. We have them weigh every single day so that we can literally track data in a graph so that we can see their trends. We can see if they're approaching plateaus. We can see if there are things that we need to change based on that data. And long term, what we're doing is we're actually teaching our clients to disconnect from the day-to-day number, because they can start to see this big picture, this trend on their graph, and they'll start to see, just like this graph will pop up here on the screen, all these plateaus that you see that are circled are followed by big drops. And every one of my clients has a graph that looks just like this, okay? So my opinion, you should weigh yourself every day. You should track that weight in some kind of an app, or even if it's just on a notebook on your phone, in a way that it will graph it out for you so that you can actually see your trend over time, okay? Now, if you are someone who doesn't want to do that, don't obsess over it, right? If you don't want to weigh yourself every day, don't weigh yourself every day. Just understand that, let's say if you weigh yourself once a week, then there are other things that fluctuate. Your waste in your body, your sugar, the sugar that you store in your body has weight, your water retention fluctuates from day to day. So it's possible for you to fluctuate up 3, 4, 5. I've even seen clients fluctuate up 7 pounds one day and down 7 pounds the next. So if you're only weighing one day a week and you just happen to weigh on that day that your weight fluctuates up, it's probably gonna ruin your day and potentially ruin your week, because you're waiting a whole nother week to see a good result on the scale. Versus if you're tracking every day and you're seeing this graph that has a trend, it's going to help you relax. Which brings me to the next question: how much weight should you expect to lose when you start? Now, our coaching clients in our program tend to lose on average from 3 to 4 pounds per week for the first 4 to 6 weeks of their program. And then it typically averages out to about 1 to 2 pounds on average for the life of their program, okay? So in the beginning, you can expect to lose weight pretty quickly. And when I say lose weight, I don't mean lose body fat necessarily pretty quickly, because when you first start off any weight loss program, you're going to drop a bunch of water weight. There's going to be a lot of changes happening in your body. They're going to cause the scale to go down very quickly. Not all of that is body fat, but it still feels good and it's highly motivating, so don't question it. Just be happy about it, okay? So 3 to 4 pounds per week here in the beginning for our clients for the first 4 to 6 weeks is what we see. 1 to 2 pounds per week average if you're in a good deficit thereafter. The next question I always get is, how should I deal with day-to-day weight fluctuation and false plateaus? So the thing you just have to go into this knowing is your weight is going to fluctuate up and down a pound, 1 or 2 pounds. I've seen clients' weights fluctuate up 7 pounds, down 7 pounds the next day. Everybody is different. Everybody has unique circumstances within their body that's causing these fluctuations. Some fluctuate a lot, some fluctuate just a little. You just have to expect that fluctuations are going to happen, okay? And that's why when you're tracking your weight on a daily basis, you're going to be expecting those fluctuations and not allowing them to influence you emotionally when it comes to your behaviors for the day. Now, there are these things called false plateaus. And again, I'm going to put this graph back up here on the screen, and just to illustrate this. And what you see in this graph is you'll see they've been weighing every day, and you see all these little plateaus that are circled in red with arrows that are kind of trending down. And what you see is every single client that I have follows this trend. And I think that all human beings follow this trend where you'll lose weight for a few days and you'll hit what we call a false plateau. Now, that false plateau could last for 1 day, it could last for 3 days, it could last for 7 days. I've seen them last for 2 weeks, but they're just momentary plateaus where your body is going through some stuff, maybe some hormonal changes. It's being a little bit resistant. But if you look at another graph that I'm going to pop up here right now, despite these giant fluctuations in body weight, you see this straight line that I've drawn along the lowest lows of their weight loss journey. And that straight line represents their fat loss. They're always losing fat because they're being consistent with their plan, despite these rampant up and down body weight changes. So understand that a false plateau may happen over and over and over again. It will happen over and over again. You're gonna go through these cycles. Your weight loss is going to ebb and flow. Just be expecting that. And don't allow yourself to get upset if you haven't seen a drop or a new low on your journey after 7 days. It's coming. If you're being consistent, it's coming. Man, I can't believe we covered all that so quickly. We actually took a little bit longer than I wanted to, but I wanted to throw in a little bit of extra detail into some of these questions just because I wanted to over-deliver a little bit. The key thing about all of this stuff, guys, is don't obsess, okay? You wanna be focused on progress over perfection. Nobody is perfect. None of my clients have been perfect when we start their program, right? In the first 6 weeks of their program in particular, everybody wants to be perfect, but nobody is, and that's fine. All you wanna focus on is being better and focusing on the behaviors, not the results. You wanna track the results so that you can know if you are making progress, but you don't want that to be the thing that drives your behaviors. I always tell my clients, behaviors should drive results. Results should never drive behaviors, okay? So don't obsess over getting everything that we talked about in this video right. We just wanted to give you some real clarity on some of the key components of starting to lose weight that usually confuse people starting off. And I feel like we've done that. We've covered, how to build your meals, what you should focus on eating, how much of that you should eat, how you should portion, what you should drink, what kind of cardio you should do, how often you should do cardio, what kind of exercise you could do, how often you should do that, how you should track your progress. We've talked about how to handle false plateaus. We've talked about a lot. All of the topics that we talked about in today's video, I'm going to be doing other videos about and really breaking some of these topics down into much more detail. But today I wanted to give you everything you need to just go and get started. We'll get into the details and stuff later in future videos. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button on this video, and hit the bell button so you get notifications for when we do our next video. All right, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Again, I'm Matt Portwood with the Chronic Health Club. I hope this video has been helpful. Subscribe, like, hit the bell button so you get the notification for the next video, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye. That's good. That's good. So good.